What's up, Internet? I'm Chimera, and I'm bad at Homecoming City of Heroes. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I wanted to introduce you to a couple of characters that were on Primal Earth. We're going to be meeting their Praetorian counterparts relatively soon with on Professor LaRoe, but I wanted you to meet them before then. Didn't get a chance to with Professor LaRoe because of the path we took. So this is Montague Castanella. He is the leader of the Midnight Squad on Praetorian Earth. The Midnighters is what they were called on Praetoria, and so we're gonna do a mission for him. Percy Winkley is missing again. I feel like I've been doing this a lot recently, but he's worth two of any other Midnighter in our club. I need you to rescue Percy Winkley. Thank you for your assistance. He's been captured by the Circle of Thorns. They're questioning him, trying to get him to reveal the Midnighter's secrets. Find the Circle of Thorns cave and rescue Percy Winkley. Yeah, so Percy Winkley gets captured a lot. I think there are like two or three missions where you have to rescue him at various level brackets. Kid's ridiculous. The way Montague talks about him, you'd think this kid gets kidnapped on a weekly basis, and he practically does. So there's nothing really special about this particular character. He's a zombie boxer. His name is Welterwight, Wight, as in like the fantasy like zombie type. But this is more of a meme build that I'm going for, where like I'm focusing on like punching attacks, using abilities that wouldn't normally be uh, considered as like abilities you would typically go for. Circle of Thorns is a. We're actually fighting two groups here, but the Circle of Thorns is a group of wizards and mystics that date back thousands of years. There was an underground nation known as Orenbega that just happened to be below. It just happens to be below where Paragon City is built. Um, and they kind of like chilled with like spirits and demons and stuff. And like, I don't actually know what their whole deal is, like what their goals and motivations are. I just know that um, usually their schemes involve the suffering of others, and so they're pretty commonly associated with being the enemies you fight in magic based mission chains. Um, the other group that we're fighting here, the ones that look like a bunch of homeless people, are the Lost. There's a whole thing involving them. They were homeless people or even people that were kidnapped and reappeared, but are changing. There's something wrong with them. And in the early game, you can't, nobody quite knows what that is, what's wrong with them. Ah, here he is. Why am I doing no damage? Well, so yeah, that's Percy's whole deal, right? He just gets captured. It's because he's going off, looking for looking for stuff without telling anybody. And I think that's part of what makes him so, quote unquote special is that he's got a knack for finding these artifacts and stuff that nobody else even knew about. Thank you for rescuing Percy. He's already handed over information regarding the circle. They're attempting to divert the flow of all power to only those who use magic, causing all other origins to weaken while magic users reach new heights of ability. The Circle was doing this as a means to combat the Ricti's encroachment into their caverns. This definitely explains their presence in those caves. The Midnight Squad has this information. I'll know shortly how they wish to proceed. So yeah, that's the thing about the Lost. They are associated with the Ricti, and at these low levels, nobody really knows why. They just know that the Lost have a tendency to precede any involvement by the Ricti. And the Ricti, um, so far as we know, until um, almost the end game, um, are an alien force that have invaded Earth multiple times, and they were cut off by a previous hero group in the past from their home planet. And so there is a contingent of them um, that is basically stuck on Earth, and they are constantly trying to like dominate humans wherever they go, and like form plans to that end and stuff like that. The Midnighters believe that investigating Percy's information regarding the Lost and the Ricti's involvement with magic is now our primary concern. I don't know how Percy does it. That kid's good. Are you interested in aiding us in this venture? Investigate the Lost and Ricti's involvement. That's my zombie voice. Okay. The Midnighters thank you for your assistance. Have you ever considered joining our fold? We've determined they are using a nearby abandoned office, but we know not for what purpose. You need to go into that office and collect any information you can regarding what they're doing. You need to find out what the Lost and Ricti are doing in this abandoned office. Here's what the inside of a rickety ship looks like. That's what an armored that's what an armored rickety looks like. Those four clues were just describing how weird rickety technology looks. Ah, the rickety and the lost are working together. Not good. Ever since the first invasion, the Midnighters have feared the rickety would begin to pool their intellect towards countering their weakness to magic. If I had to guess, that's what's going on here. Surprisingly, we've managed to glean some information from the computer parts you've recovered. It looks like I've got another rescue operation for you. A very untraditional one at that. I need you to rescue a rickety. Yes, you heard me right. His name is Argot Burwat, a rickety traditionalist, being held captive by an opposing rickety force, the Restructurists. I don't claim to be an expert on rickety politics, but I do know that Argot has asked for asylum, and the Vanguard have agreed to grant it to him. Since you found the intelligence, We thought you'd want to be the one to. We thought you'd be the one who brought him in. Rescue Argot Burwat. The fact that there is such a thing as a good Richte seems odd, but if what Montague says is true, Argot Burwat could hold the key to bringing them down. Oh, I know why I'm not doing any damage. Got a buff that increases my damage and defenses for a good chunk of time, but it's got a long cooldown. And when I come off of the cooldown, it drains some of my endurance, this blue resource down here. And it also decreases my damage for a short time. So that's why I randomly stopped doing any damage. And that was the same Richte that we fought in the last mission. So there's like a recurring antagonist in this mission chain. There's an unarmored Richte. With Argot Burwat safely in Vanguard hands, we have made a huge leap forward in this second invasion of the Richte. Now we only have to hope that the Vanguard are forthcoming with the intelligence they get out of our new Richte ally. I think it's time we brought in some outside help. You ever hear of the Dawn Patrol? Their original leader, Hero 1, was the one who took the Omega team through the Richte portal to shut it down. Ever since that day, a woman by the name of Lady Jane has taken over the team. She's recently come over to the States and claims to have important information regarding the Lost. She wants a meeting. Apparently, the Lost attacked the main headquarters of the Dawn Patrol. The patrol managed to fend off the group, but a lot of damage was done. You're supposed to meet up with Lady Jane. She doesn't want it widely known that she's here, fearing another possible Lost attack. Go meet with Lady Jane and gather any knowledge she has regarding the Lost. Oh, and watch what you say about Hero 1 while talking to her. Rumor has it they were more than just teammates. Lady Jane is kind of like a 1960s style spy with like a leather cat suit and fancy quips or whatever. I'm not going to try and read any of her dialogue with an accent because that went so well last time. You're here to meet up with Lady Jane and gather any information she has regarding the Lost. Lady Jane gives you a vial that she says contains the blood from Hero 1. This in and of itself isn't that interesting. The interesting part is that she claims it comes from Hero 1 after he entered the Richte portal to stop the first Richte invasion. She believes that in the right hands, this blood could contain a cure for the Lost. So she believes that there's a connection between the lost, the way they're changing, and Richter technology. The vial Lady Jane gave you contains some of Hero One's blood. She claims that the blood comes from Hero One after he entered the Richter portal. I don't know how she got that. Perhaps that's what she was trying to track down in the chest she was after. Who knows? There's also a data file regarding the research that Dawn Patrol was doing on the Lost. This might be useful for our new friend Argot Burwatt. Well done, Welterwight. And in our next episode, we're going to continue this to its conclusion. So we'll get back to Professor LaRoe, but I wanted to establish the kind of like I wanted to establish who Montague was, who Percy Winkley was, and kind of like how the Midnight Squad operates on Primal Earth, where Professor LaRoe is from, before we meet any of their counterparts in Praetoria. So until next time, goodbye.